Okay, it's 5 o'clock, so we'll call the White County Solid Waste Committee meeting to order. At this time, I'd like to have Commissioner White do her prayer.
Bow your heads with me. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for loving us every single day of our lives. Thank you for sending your Son to die on the cross for remission of our sins. Bless us and guide us as we conduct business on behalf of the county and our constituents. And God, we love you and we praise you. In Jesus' holy, precious name, we all say, amen.
Amen. All right, roll call, please.
Dakota White.
Here.
T.K. Austin. T.K. Austin.
Oh, here.
Becky Golden. Jordan Coe.
Here.
Chris Brington.
Here.
Roger Mason. Larry Daniels.
Here.
Do you have a quorum, Mr. Chairman?
Okay. This time I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for February 3rd meeting.
Make a motion. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, tonight we have a guest, Lisa Luck, with us, and she is going to go over our APR. Okay.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I want to introduce, I've been working with White County for 10 years on this report, but I want to introduce the person who's going to take my place starting March 31st, and this is Lily Hall. So she'll be doing your reports from now on, your annual progress reports. And it's been a joy to come here every year and to work with Brooke and Denny Wayne. So thank you so much for allowing me to work on this project. All right, so the most important thing in this report is that we are required to submit it every single year by law. The state of Tennessee collects reports from everybody. They have to track how much waste is being disposed of in our Class 1 landfills. They have to know how much material is being recycled, and they want to know how much waste is organic waste, like from the highway department, or that people are composting. So the only way to, they also want to know if you are providing adequate solid waste services to your county residents, because all counties are required to provide solid waste opportunities for their residents. So you can't just be a county and not have a place for people to take their trash. So the most of this report is pretty dry. It talks about what time the convenience centers are open. It talks about, you know, how much you've recycled. It talks, but the most important thing is the planning part of it. So every county is required to update their 10-year plan every year. And so this year, in the last year or two, we've been saying that White County really would like to find somebody that could take over the landfill. And so that is something that has been accomplished. And I'm proud for you that you don't have that to take care of anymore. So now what you're looking for is you are looking forward to updating your aging convenience centers. So Chip is going to be working on that, and also to install a new convenience center to make sure over at the landfill for the convenience of the residents. So that is the other thing. And another update on the plan is that Chip is going to be working more with the recyclables to set up a good recycling program, because a lot of your recycling is ending up in Putnam County. I know a lot of residents here, and they take whatever they can't recycle here, they take to Putnam County, but that is a revenue stream you could capture here once you get your infrastructure set up. So I'm not going to go through the whole report because, as I say, it is just dry, and it's saying what you already know your county does. But does anybody have any questions or comments about the solid waste? And also, I want to mention that out of the waste that you manage every year, 25% of it has to be diverted, shown that it was diverted, and so that's something we work on with getting recycling reports from businesses. So if you have a business here and you recycle anything, be sure and call Lily or email Lily or myself and let us know, and we'll put that in the report also. So any questions?
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
We wish you well.
Thank you so much.
All right,
All right,
we appreciate it.
Yep, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Okay, at this time, I would like to ask if there is any old business.
We have to approve that.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the APR. Is this just in-house, or?
Yes,
it has-
just.
Okay, so it just has to be approved in our committee. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now then, any old business? Any new business?
I got just a little couple updates.
Okay.
If you'll give me just a second to sign this, we all just passed it, so they don't have to stay here all night for us. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just talking to the Waste Management today. They hope to release bids for the construction of the new sale, hopefully sometime in April. Of course, we know how that goes. Hopefully be in operation sometime in October. Permits
I take
still,
it they did get a permit.
still in TDEC's hands, but they've worked it out. TDEC's not given the written approval officially, but kind of like, the way I take it,
So this is, they're working on the first
first phase.
phase.
Yes. And I think that's all I've got. Seems like that's something that's about the
All right. Any more old business? Any new business? Would anybody from the audience like to address this committee?
Yes, I would. This is what I've been told. Sorry, my name's
State your
Connie
name.
Davis. This is what has been told that happened since the meeting Thursday with the convenience center workers. I was told that they have been guaranteed a substantial raise, and the commissioners all knows about it and has approved about it. Nobody seems to know that I've talked to about no raise. Well, then I was also told that Chip has told the convenience center workers, they're talking about recycling. Okay, anybody that gets anything out of the materials that goes to the landfill is recycling. There's nobody getting in the bins, nobody's doing anything wrong. We're not taking the metal, we're taking stuff out of the wood bins. Okay, they've been told now, nobody can get anything out of those wood bins. Are you trying to fill the landfill up fast? Anything anybody takes out of those wood bins is saving it going in the ground at the landfill.
The only thing that I can think to that,
Liability.
so, of course, this committee doesn't deal with the raises. The budget committee that passes the full board, right? But the only thing that comes to my mind with the wood bins is liability. If somebody was to get in there and break a leg,
They're not getting in them. Nobody's getting in them. They're getting stuff from the sides.
Mr. Chairman, I was at that meeting. Would you like for me to discuss that?
Yes, please.
All right. I'm the one that talked, let me get back and make sure I can hear me. I'm the one that talked about the raises. What it was saying is nothing like what you're saying.
I'm just getting this secondhand, so I
Well, no,
can,
you should check with me before you
Right.
make it seem like this. We're looking at the budget committee, we're looking to give everybody raises.
right,
They are employees of the county. They are being
That's
looked at
right.
just as good as everybody else.
Right.
Nothing has been voted on, I told them. Nothing's been voted on, but the commission, I feel like, is looking at giving raises this year. No, we don't let people get stuff out of the convenience centers. That is a liability. You don't save enough for a two before coming out than you would when you have to pay a lawsuit when somebody falls in or gets a nail stuck in their foot or their hand. It's not worth it. It's a
well,
liability.
have you had any lawsuits or any liability in the last 2 or 3, 4, 5 years?
Yes.
That's one of those things,
Yes, we
you
have.
don't ever intend for anything to happen, but I mean, it can happen at any time. you know, it's not a, we hadn't had any till now thing. It's like, if you have one.
So if the landfill fills up early, what's gonna happen?
That's Waste Management's problem, not ours.
Okay. Well, let me ask
If
you,
enough people are getting stuff out of the wood bins to save a landfill, it's gonna be stacking up somewhere else.
if they're using it, what if they're using it? A lot of it's wood. A lot of it's materials that people uses.
I've told them I cannot get that, you know, we've tried the thing of using common sense, if it's right there and you can grab it and you not get hurt, stuff like that. But there seems that nobody wants to have a common sense approach.
Well, that ain't
They
the
want to
society
have-
anymore.
They want to have a yes or no answer. And when I'm drawing that line and said, I need a yes or no, I have to say my answer is no. There is no other option.
Well, I was told there's a $4,000 fine if anybody gets caught doing that. And also the employee loses their job.
I don't know about the $40,000 fine, but if an employee is caught taking stuff from the convenience center, metal bin is particularly.
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Yes, it's grounds for immediate fine.
Okay, I understand that because we're selling the metal bins and we're getting money back from that. There's no problem with that. But the other stuff is going in the ground. So anything anybody gets out of there that's going in the landfill is saving space in the landfill.
For sure, I think I've answered the question. Are you satisfied with the answer?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got another comment. The deal over Dean Wayne was the chairman or overseer, whatever, of the landfill. Then now that we've sold the landfill, why are we got Chip taking the convenience center jobs? I'm gonna be over them.
Well, he was over them before. he
But
was
Denny
over-
Wayne was also over the landfill and over them too.
Chip was the director of solid waste. And
But the
now,
conven-
now then, that's what he is. He's still the director of solid waste, which that just consists of the convenience centers.
Okay,
And the trucks.
Trucks.
And the
the
trucks.
convenience center workers was talking to Brooke. Brooke was over them. And now Chip is over them.
Well, that's,
That is correct.
Okay, I thought I knew something about on that.
okay. Anybody else? Okay. Our calendar update is, March 17th will be at 6 p.m. Here will be our next full court, and our next solid waste committee meeting will be April 7th, here. And it will start at 5 p.m.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Kane Rogers,
Here.
TK Austin,
Here.
Becky Golden, Lanny Selby,
Here.
Thomas Markison, Derek Hutchins,
Here.
Larry Daniels.
Here.
Do have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. This time I'll entertain a motion to approve the February 3rd minutes.
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Or, I guess all opposed. Okay. We need to discuss the, David Cully Recreation Complex, sign. I don't know if I had asked to have the, a sign submitted from, Parks and Rec, which we don't have a representative from Parks and Rec here. I don't know whether to, this has gone on for like, I don't know, over 2 years now. I'm wanting to get something approved here. I don't know, whether we need to take it back in and do it in committee. Or give them one last,
Well, we had it on the agenda for last month, and there was a conflict and they didn't meet. Well, then, they knew it was on the agenda, then they met this month, or they met last month. I guess they didn't meet in January, they met in February. And we're still no closer to an answer, and we're under a time constraint. Denny, what would be your deadline to submit the paperwork to Waste Management?
I need to make my request recommendation by the end of the month.
By the end of this month?
Yes.
They'll meet, so our only other option is either, two options is we decide tonight and set a budget for them to, guideline for them to follow, or they meet before full court, right?
well,
We'd have to do something from the floor.
I'm wondering if we,
Mr. Chairman, if I just jump in and say, if y'all are not sure, I can make the request without, I would like to have input on what y'all think, but if, in the absence of that, I can make the request myself.
well, can we set like just a limit on the sign? And
Yes, sir.
from what they're talking about is not what I'm envisioning that we need. I mean, I would be okay with the digital sign. I'm a little worried about vandalism on it, but, I would love to see something with a foundation, some masonry work, some kind of a sign with a light on it. Something that, you know,
A permanent
a
structure.
permanent structure, yeah. Not a, I mean, if we're just wanting to put a sign up, I mean, you know, we can go down there and stick a 6x6 in the ground and nail a sign up to it and here you go. But that's not what, it needs to be worthy of the cause.
I agree. I think a digital sign is probably too much right now, but
Well,
if you have the structure set
if-
up to where you
if
can
you
add on
do-
later.
If you do, you know, like a masonry sign down low, with, you know, the name and everything on it, make it so that sign could be mounted to the top
To the
of
top of it.
that, a digital sign could be mounted to the top of that at some point. That's my envision of the deal. I don't know, I know everybody's worried about spending money on a sign as opposed to spending money on the fields. You know, having a sign there so people can find it, that was one of the things that, like, with the Frisbee competition that they done, people were saying, you know, well, there's not any sign or anything, any way of finding, hard to find and all that. You know, I feel that we need to put you know, a sign up that's distinguishable, and then we can actually see and
Well, I'll make a
people
motion
can find it.
to approve up to $5,000 for a sign. We can send that back to that'll give Denny Wayne something to go on.
Okay.
We think that's
We're sure that's enough. And it's not enough, I don't feel like, for what he's talking about.
I mean, I think,
there's been
You're-
discussion from 2,000 to 50,000.
well, I don't know, I feel 10 would probably get us in the ballpark of.
Yeah, at least, and that'll
Well,
give
I'm-
him something to put in for, and
And, you know, and that's with, you know, the way the money's gonna be distributed, you know, it's not like if we don't use it for that, I'm sure it could be rolled into whatever the other project was. I mean, I feel that, you know, waste management would be agreeable. But, okay, does anybody wanna make that motion?
Well, I'll amend my motion from 5,000 to
Okay, you're
10,000.
just gonna
I'll just
make your
make-
motion 10,000.
10,000.
Okay.
is
All
is this within committee funds, like Parks and Recs, or is this go to budget?
No, sir, this is just, I just need something when I
To go back to them?
go back to them on, yeah, it doesn't have to go to
It's not
budget.
sent- Okay.
Now, if
Because
if
we're
it ends up,
requesting this from the waste management funds, it's not coming from the,
We're not writing a
County-
check.
we're not
and then
writing a
getting-
check.
And then getting
it's
reimbursed?
not a cost to the
Correct.
county.
Okay. And that alleviate, there's no bid process because of that,
correct,
and dollar threshold anyway, but
correct.
second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve Denny Wayne to request up to $10,000 for the sign at the sports complex. Is there any discussion? Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Is there any old business? Any new business? Anyone from the audience?
Oh, yeah, I got you, I'm sorry.
That don't work too good, you sitting back there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just need a place to put my stuff. All right, we've been talking about a Parks and Rec director. I went through several grants. The one that we initially had, they've quit doing, but they've got what they call the trip grants. This is, basically what this grant does is it'll pay 50% match the first year, for $50,000, so it'll pay 25. The county will be responsible for 25 the first year. The second year, be the same. The third year, the county would be responsible for $50,000. If we agree to do this, we're committed to the 3 years. We're committed committed to spending $100,000 over the next 3 years, 25, 25, and 50. After that, my understanding, that's where the obligation would end, if we see that it's not going like we think. But this grant, March 17th is when they're opening it up for application, so it's kind of something that we need to jump on it for something that we want to do.
The application opens
March
to
17th.
apply for it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we would have to hire anyone before the new budget cycle, or do you?
Correct. I don't foresee requiring any budget amendments. The program would go into effect after July 1, so it would be appropriated in the upcoming budget, so there would be no reason. I would, if you're interested, I'd probably send it to budget, just so they know it's
For
coming.
further discussion.
But this is about the best I can find.
Okay.
Should send it to budget.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to send to budget. Is there any discussion?
Is this a
This is,
favorable?
well, this is what
Yeah.
We've had a lot of discussion on this topic in our work sessions about hiring a Parks and Rec director for several months now. We're just kind of waiting to see what grants were out there, so I think the discussion out of that is very favorable that we intend
it's,
to hire somebody for the,
I'm 100% in favor of this.
In order for things, I mean, we need the Parks and Rec director simply to, there's a lot of stuff out there that will fall into place if we have the Parks and Rec director, whereas it never will, simply because we have nobody to chase the
carrot.
The carrot is to, yeah, it's, but if we have somebody, it'll make the park work better and, I mean, you know, all of our parks. I mean, we'll have somebody to organize and take care of all this, and that's one of the things, you know, we can,
Do we
get
think,
more things done.
do we think we can hire a director for 50?
I think so.
Somewhere close in that range.
The webinar, the information that you've got, the meeting you've got to attend to apply for this is also, it's on the 17th. And I think I'll have a little bit better understanding of, because I've heard rumors about they've got to have a degree in this, but I've not seen this year's qualification, so I'll have a better idea. I don't know what the going rate for a Parks and Rec career is with a degree in.
Or is it, I don't know, is that, I guess that's questions that'll be answered on your call. I mean, does it have to be spent on one person? I mean, is it, or can it be spent on a full-time, part-time, or?
I'll make sure that is asked. I didn't think about that. I just assumed.
That's just the going.
Yeah.
If this is, have you heard of any other counties looking to do this? I guess you probably hadn't heard anything.
No, I've not.
If this goes out and then everybody in the Upper Cumberland's looking for one, it's,
Yeah, there was a list of ones that have been awarded in the past, and I shouldn't say, I don't remember seeing anybody that I recognize on it.
okay.
Okay,
And this is for
now,
communities starting this, so I
Right.
don't foresee somebody that's already doing it being able to.
Being able, yeah.
be able to-
so we're sending this to budget just so they'll know that we're looking at this grant and we're wanting to give Denny Wayne the authority to go ahead and pursue the grant? That's the amendment or the motion?
So let me say on the resolution, and I can can change it if y'all wanna change it, but the resolution says that if we're approved, and they're wanting to, the timeline on this is they want approval, they're supposed to get back to us before the beginning of our budget year, so that we'll know when it's, before we pass the budget. But this resolution says that if we were accepted, that we are going through with it, so if y'all want to amend that,
Okay.
everything.
Well, can budget pass that? If we're sending it to
budget
budget,
can see
if we're sending it to budget
They can,
for review, then budget can approve the resolution.
Okay.
But y'all sent it with a recommendation.
With-
to full court, yeah, to budget.
Okay, so we're gonna send this resolution to budget to review for, a full-time Parks and Rec director. And is there any discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Nah,
All opposed, motion carries. Okay. Now then, was that under old business or
That was
new
new.
That was
business?
new business, Mr. Chairman.
That was new business? Okay, at this time, would anybody from the audience like to address this committee?
Me again. I'm Connie Davis. I have talked to Parks and Rec, and they were looking to use the $50,000 as bathrooms at the ballpark. I have gotten with Mike Wilson. He couldn't give me all the specifics because there was several different people that done different work. But the kind of bathrooms they got at the fairgrounds that they just built last 3 or 4 years was under $30,000. And I had went down to the ballpark, and there's a lot of buildings down there that we could actually turn into bathrooms, especially over there at the Frisbee Golf. Not saying that that would take a lot of money. I think the bigger bathrooms should be over there in the middle of the ball fields where the other bathrooms are. But we've got 700 or more kids, maybe 800, playing ball down there, and their parents. We need a lot of bathrooms. But they never did make no total decision. They wanted some more numbers. And I never did get back with Mike on the specifics, but I think Jerry's talked to him.
Okay, thank you.
I have one, I guess, announcement under new businesses. We don't have to make a decision on it. I received a phone call about adding a three-way stop at the corner of Black Oak and Duck Pond. So I talked to Jerry about that, and he said he had it in his plans already to do some updated signage and some striping there. So he's working on that, so there's really no action for us to take, but I was asked, and I just wanted to pass that information along, because I think Kyle said that he had received a call about that same intersection too. So if anybody else were to have a call about it, which Muscle's in the loop on it too today, so.
All right.
one, the state property, the lawn access area down there that wasn't sure who owned it, or state said they didn't know. What's the update on that? Yeah,
I'm sorry, what, you talking about at the
county
County
house,
house.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was county property.
yeah, it was county property. Never really found a deed. We found a real old deed that T-Dot had, but Samantha Satterfield, is that right? Has, the organization she is with, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to turn around. The organization that she's with, has agreed to build a ramp access there. They have sent, the documentation that, I needed to sign, and we have sent that last Thursday or something, Friday, back to her. So, it should be moving forward. Along that same lines, Representative Sherrill has reached out to me about, TWRA having some funds for additional kayak access places. So, Mrs. Satterfield, I think, had reached out to him also about some help. So we're going to kind of start the process. I think he's going to get TWRA to try to help us find some sites. The biggest obstacle we're having, I'm sure over into what we have, is it's all private. Nobody
more thing, real quick, since we got Jerry here too, on the Cane Hollow, have they talked any more about paving like a actual ramp to the core or anything?
So the county road actually, so the county road goes down about another 25 or 30 feet past where it stops, right there. I can give you about 30 feet. That's about as far as I can go though. If they wanted to join that right there, though, I wouldn't care to help work on that.
They
It's a long
talked
ways
about
from the
that. I didn't have to get back with them. It's been,
'Cause
they
they-
were all excited about that for a while.
And I think we saw some mention of it in some kind of something,
Some
so,
plans, some
yeah,
long-term plans they had, yeah. And more pavilions
yeah, something.
and stuff. Now, I'll get back with, that was the core handle, that I'll get back with. I just haven't talked to them in a while.
Yeah, I think that would be good, I mean, for
I have a
sure.
question. Is there any way we can get on the county land down there, getting that surveyed off, because there's no boundary up there? Have you been, Jerry, you been there, there's cross fences that's been cut and over, so I don't really know what the line is, and I'm sure nobody else does.
So you want like a boundary line established?
Yeah, like just surveyed off where our property line is.
I would assume we could probably say we could get that done.
I just don't want people going over on other people's land, and I'm sure they don't want people over there either.
Yeah, I won't.
I think there was some question about where the bicycle trails up on top of the mountain. I think we're getting real close. And maybe crossed over the boundary lines.
There's a bunch of
Up there.
fences up there that's been rode across and cut, so who knows if they're even on. I'm not complaining about the bicycle, I'm just saying, we need to know
We need to
where
know where
the line is.
I'll work on getting that done.
Okay.
Okay. Any more new business? Anybody else from the audience?
Think y'all know me, Joe Hallams. I just want to jump back to the Parks and Rec Director real quick. Do we have an expectation or a job description of what this person's going to be responsible for, duties? I mean, that's going to help the candidates when you start, if he gets approved to start
Well, I'm sure that we'll have to make a
Job description.
job description, yeah.
that'd be the committee's
At this time,
responsibility to do that.
but what we've been discussing is just having them be over, all of the parks and everything, and managing and seeing that things get done, and,
Grant opportunity.
Applying for grant
yeah,
opportunity.
planning for.
We have a Parks and Rec master plan
Yeah.
that lays a lot of stuff out. I'm not gonna say that it specifically has direction for the director or job duties for the director, but a lot of that stuff's laid out in that plan.
Well, it's always good to have.
Good to
have all that laid out,
Before,
what your,
yeah.
what your responsibilities and that is. Yeah. So, I was just curious, before the time comes, if y'all had already had
Yeah,
that,
well,
that plan in
yeah,
there.
and our HR director, I'm sure, can help us
Help with that.
setting all that up and getting it lined out.
I think
the way we
It's a
want
good
it.
question.
I think we're moving in a good direction, but
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
to be able to find the right candidate, you really need to know
Mm-hmm.
what the responsibilities and.
Criteria is, yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
question.
All right, thank you. Okay, anybody else from the audience? Okay, hearing none, our calendar update, March 17th will be full court here at 6 PM. And next committee A will be April 7th, here at following solid waste. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion is second, all in favor say aye. Aye.
We're gonna call steering bee committee to order. Roll call, please.
Chris Brington. Dave Cranford. Robert McCormick.
Here.
Dakota White.
Here.
Jordan Coe.
Here.
Roger Mason. Kyle Gall.
Here.
Do have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
All right, third thing on here is approval of, take a motion of approval of February 3rd steering committee meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 4, spay and neuter sent back from full court.
What do we have on it?
Anybody have any updates on this, anyway?
I can tell you what you
Okay.
don't know about it.
Give me-
The original motion that was sent to, full court was to match $5,000, anything that the city contributed. The city, didn't contribute anything, and then it came back to full court, or came back to this, and we sent on that we would, go ahead and donate 5,000, but in between them saying no and, us revisiting it, apparently, somebody went to the city and offered to donate them $5,000 in order to instigate us or to mandate that we give, ours. I didn't like that. I don't like doing business that way. I have to, my hat's off to, Mayor Lowry, who called it and said that he didn't like doing business that way. It's just uncomfortable. It was being manipulated. And that's why I asked that y'all just hear all the information before moving forward with it.
Is there anything that's to be done or withdrew or anything?
I wouldn't do it,
Okay.
but that's,
Does anybody have anything on that? All right, moving on to number 5, discussion on shed for steam mill, Rollins steam mill. Do we have any updates on it?
I don't have an update. I was gonna propose to this committee that we just get this on the Parks and Rec agenda and let the Parks and Rec committee.
Roger has some, quotes on the shed, which that was, I mean, I reckon he's got bids.
Well,
Does he not?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think I gathered those, and in my opinion, they were too high for us to take any action. And they're very broad, so I was gonna meet a group down there and figure out specifically what we need, what the county can handle, what a group of volunteers can handle, and then who's gonna maintain it after it's done. I just think we're far too early to be looking at those bids at that price.
You want to send it to Parks and Rec?
Parks and Rec.
Yeah, and I mean, I can work with Brooke and get that on the agenda if you guys are okay with it, and if there's any financial action, we'll get it in front of this committee, if there's anything new that comes up.
Just let them know they don't need to drag their feet like they done their other one. I mean, all jokes aside, if not, bring it back to be here and we'll make a decision on it. I'm like TK on that. Yeah, that's our problem now. We keep kicking that can, boys, and it's to get old.
well, there's money, there is some money there for this. There's a group that has raised money
Yes.
for this, so it wouldn't be a, burden on, a total burden on the county.
All right. Moving on to number 6. Does anybody have any update on the records storage?
I know we allocated money.
For the
correct?
storage buildings, yeah.
To rent?
Director Markham, Executive Robinson, y'all, I know we allocated some money for the record storage.
Yeah, we allocated money to rent storage space. I do not have an update. I've not heard anything from her. Connie, if you don't mind me throwing your name out there, Connie has called me suggesting, had some pretty good ideas about a way to build something. but we have not appropriated funding to do that. And I'm not comfortable with going and me taking the lead on this and building it. This is her kind of, I would kind of feel like I would need some feedback from that office before I just went and built it.
How did this get on the agenda this month? Roger did? Oh, okay, well, can we put it on next month too, just since Roger's not here, just so if he's got something he can inform us then?
Update on health department building.
I've got that, Mr. Chairman.
Sticking together.
All right, everything is designed, done, and planned. It's been sent to the city to see if they have any issues, because this is city roads, anything that they see that needs to be changed or moved. As you can see, the entrance, the entrance is coming in off, I guess you would kind of call it the north-south part of Moles Drive. Is anybody not familiar with this location? I think everybody is. And you can see the building, the parking, a trucker lane for loading and unloading stuff. We're basically about done, about ready to bid. Just as soon as the city gives a thumbs up that they don't see anything that infringes on them.
Thank you, sir.
All right, moving on to old business. Does anybody have any old business?
I would like to bring up back up the codes inspector bill and send it back to budget committee. Again, when we voted on it, we didn't have a full quorum, didn't have enough people when we voted on it in full court last time, so I'd like to send it back through, if y'all in agreement.
Do we need to make a motion on that, or do we?
Do we need to make a motion on that?
So you make motions to the budget.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to send the codes inspector resolution to budget.
I'll second.
Got a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
New business. Does anybody have any new business?
You need to ask if there's any no votes.
Is there any no votes?
Say motion passes.
Motion passes. Moving on to new business.
Can I ask a question on that? We had some opposition the last two times, it's been different. I wasn't here for full court. I think we had Chris and Becky and Muscles. Chris, you're the only one here. Is there, we're not answering, or is there, I guess, I understand why you're voting, why you voted.
I just think we ought to start part-time. That's the same way with this other position that we were talking about, the Parks and Recs right there. I just don't see enough work for him. The first year maybe a full, all together, but down later on, once everything gets established right there, I just don't see something there full-time year-round for him to do. To
For a
pay that
second
money.
full-time.
Yeah, well, not for a full-time. I like to start part-time and then get a feel of it and then go from right there is. Cause this full-time right here is, so you say the grant was $50,000, 25 we pay or 25.
No, we're talking about the codes. I'm talking about the codes.
Yeah, but I was
Codes
just
department.
using that example right there is, there's other things that's gonna cost us more money down the road. Just the code thing right there is, I just feel like it should be part-time instead of full-time. I feel like the one that we got in there, the secretary, ought to be the one that either get his license or find him another job. That's just my personal opinion. Cause he could do secretary and he could do that when the other guy needs to be took off. That's just mine. You know, we're gonna pay get another man, and we're gonna have three in a part-time one. It's just, yeah.
I know his description was supposed to be exactly what you're talking about.
Mhm.
days a week, 8 hours a day. I mean, you know, there's people in there just nearly all the time. There's, you know, questions that people's got that needs to be answered and everything. And, you know, you need somebody there that's capable of at least taking messages and getting, that type of thing.
Writing up
And
permits.
that's my thoughts on it. You know, the full-time codes guy, they've got 72 hours to do anything but a footer. A footing has to be done within, 24 hours of the call. Everything else, they have 72 hours to actually get to. But, you know, as much, you still, even though you've got 72 hours, you want to do it in a timely manner. You know, it needs to be done within all of it, really, it needs to be done within 24 hours, simply because, you know, me being a contractor, I understand that, you know, I can't afford to be sitting here waiting on an inspector to come and tell me, okay, you're good, you can go ahead and hang the drywall, or you can go ahead and pour that footer. I mean, you know, it's not necessarily, you know, whether it is good for the county, but then again, I mean, you know, you've got to look at it from a business standpoint. You don't need to be holding people back. You know, people don't want to do business in the county if, you know, if you have to wait 3 days on getting your inspection.
For me, the largest component to it is as long as that department can pay for its positions.
Exactly. Yes.
And that's why I've asked that so many times, with that purpose of like, you know, I've asked Chad, I bet 5 times in these meetings, you know, profit, loss, can it sustain it, can it make it? Because I'm completely fine for it as long as it can sustain that position, but when it can't, that's when this commission has to come together and figure out what needs to happen then. So I just know to my knowledge that the finance director, you know, he has said multiple times that it can fund that position. And for me personally, as long as it can, I am fine with us having that assistance there for the director of our codes currently.
And then
We just passed we just modified our codes fee structure last month, and it was projecting to almost double, Chad. The fee structure was gonna almost double the cost, or close to it.
Yeah, it's gonna significantly change.
Significantly change, which is gonna be enough to cover, we're projecting that's enough to cover that position, a full-time position.
also, we're wanting to move into commercial inspections, and like we are now, we can't even touch it because we're killing the inspector with that.
Yeah, we can touch it. Denny Wayne said that the man is in our napkin,
Well, he-
certified to do it.
He doesn't have time. That's one of the reasons we're
The
wanting.
thing with the commercial, doing the commercial, the fee is so much different between it and, I mean, you know, you get one factory in here, multi-million-dollar contract on one of those factories is gonna pay a salary for a
For the year.
inspector for a year.
Yes.
I mean, you know, that's,
You'd probably time up for a year of inspection, that's probably.
well,
everything
it
too.
might, but it's definitely gonna pay for it.
Yeah, and most of those projects are already
Engineered.
self.
They're engineered, so it's usually a lot easier
Engineered
to inspect.
And I want to say, those companies, the commercial, they want it, they want to.
Yeah.
That's one of the hardest issues I have on coming with development, is trying to explain to these businesses that we don't have any codes or inspections, and they're just like, that's just not right, you need something, you gotta have something.
They do like it. Builder's risk and
I
things
pull
like that.
city permits for BASF and they never show up to, but they want the permit pulled. BASF,
They
it's
do.
not,
They want to cover their tracks where they're not liable.
Well, this has been pushed to budget,
Okay.
so, you know, that motion did pass, so
Anybody from the audience like to speak? All right, calendar update, Monday, March 17th, 2025 at 6 PM is full court. Monday, April 7th, 2025, next steering B committee meeting.
We do have one new business.
No, one new business.
One new business, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. All right.
He's trying to get you trained well.
But he's training me well.
I've got an email, and I've been over and looked and observed it. But on our American Legion building, it appears that, well, about 10 years ago, the American Legion raised funds to put an elevator on that building. Well, the elevator shaft is pulling away from the American Legion building, where the cracks have appeared where the new and old construction intersects. A line for daylight is visible from the interior along the south wall. The concrete floor is separated to the elevator, the stair shafts, and the exterior vertical joints have opened up along the north and south walls of the new structure. The crack appears to be getting wider towards the top of the building, evidence that the structure has begun to slightly lean out and away from the existing structure.
Sir, people aren't taking that currently, are they?
Are taking it currently.
The elevator?
Yes. The engineer looked at it, says that he still feels like it is safe at this time. Okay, so, getting to that, that was my.
Sorry,
that was my first
yeah.
question. Yes. All right, this is not a county building. This building is owned by the American Legion. We take care of most of the upkeep for it. The estimate they have gotten is $20,365. Okay. We are having, it's not our building, but I feel like public safety kind of dictates. We have got some engineers coming. Actually, Cumberland County's had problems with their structural integrity of their courthouse. They got it redone. So we have some of those engineers, or one of them, that's supposed to come down and that we're going to be paying for, so we can get an idea of what's going on. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, the American Legion building, the only funding they get is what funded with what rent we pay them. They're going to be looking for ways to assist us to help repair this building. No action or anything I need tonight, but I wanted y'all to know that we're looking into it. Again, we're having our own engineers who come tell us how safe it is. But this engineer has put it in writing. Okay, it's not this, not them brains, another, that he feels at this time it is still safe.
Thank you, sir. Is there any more new business? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Adjourn.
my wires crossed.
Me. I don't know how to do it.
Lucky you. And I thought Kyle was chairman of the budget.
Where did I get mixed up at?
I'm not sure. I thought he was.
I think you're right.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call this purchasing committee to order. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the February meeting.
Need a roll
So is
call?
it just me and you?
Me?
Derek.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
3 of the 4.
3 to 4. I guess that's going, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, we've got a motion, a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, number 3, we'll review the procurement process. A, county. What we got on that, Chad?
So this is a request for proposals process that we did for the Freedom Celebration Fireworks display. We received one proposal this year, and it's from Pyro Shows. They're the ones that did our show the past few years, and we've not had any issues with them. Their pricing was consistent with the price for last year, so no price change there, and that's who we would recommend that the request for proposals be awarded to.
Wasn't it 13,000?
13,000.
Yeah, it was, because I remember they had a price increase last year over the year, but wasn't it 10 and went to
Yeah, last year over, yeah.
the previous year? It was like
Yeah.
10 and went to 12 or 13.
Yeah. But this is the same as the 2024 show.
Okay.
Same length and everything. We use the same parameters as well, so.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, a second, any discussion? With the roll call on this?
No.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item B is the schools RFP.
This is the school nutrition department. This is a pass-through heated cabinet for White County Middle School. You may recall that we did this 2 months ago. We awarded it to the low bidder in that process. They ended up not being able to go through on it. The second low bidder was not able to honor their pricing, so we had to rebid it. We come in with, at this bid, with Douglas Equipment being the bidder on this, and who we recommend to go to at $25,095.37. It's within a couple of $1,000s of the original low bid that we approved a couple of months ago. So this is who we'd recommend to go to. We've done business with them before and haven't had any issues.
So within 10% of the original
Yes.
approved bid.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to.
Motion.
Second.
Motion, a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, old business. Do we have any old business?
No,
Any new business?
not this time.
Anybody wants, any more public comment? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Now, budget committee. Miss out on you.
First order of business, we're looking for approval of the minutes from the February 3rd meeting. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. We're gonna move to fiscal year 25 budget amendments. We have two from the general fund. I believe one is within committee and one is going to commission. Director Markham, if you want to hit both of those, and then we can single them out if we need to.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first one is a resolution or a budget amendment in the county general fund to send to the county commission to appropriate $122,949 for a state EMS equipment grant. It'll be used to purchase 2 cardiac monitors and 11 video laryngoscopes for EMS. There's no match on that. It's a 100% grant from the state. The second amendment that is within committee is just reallocating funds within the election commission major category. It's a $7,350 amendment, moving $7,350 out of election commission funding pay and then moving portion of that, $2,100 exactly, to the election worker line, and then $5,250 to the maintenance agreements line. This is just to get us more in line with our with where we're at following the presidential election cycle that we had. But that's all within committee. That one is.
Thank you, Mr. Markham. Okay, so each of these do not affect maintenance of effort or our fund balance, but entertain a motion to approve the first, the EMS state grant. This is going to the full commission.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second, send this to the full commission. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have sent that one on to the commission, and then within committee, the reallocation of funds within the election commission.
Make a motion.
We have a motion
I second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that is approved. Move on to School Federal Projects Fund. We have 5 of these, all within committee. And we'll turn these over to Mr. Markham. Are these, have these been seen by the school board?
A portion of them have. I'd like for you just to take them all contingent on
Okay.
school board approval, yeah. If you don't mind. The first one is Subfund 102, Title 1. This is an allocation adjustment. Actually, this is what all these are for the most part, are allocation adjustments. Usually at this point during the fiscal year, the state will reallocate their funding based on what they're getting from the federal government. And so sometimes that means more money for those federal programs, and sometimes it means less. And we just have to make adjustments accordingly. So this first one is a $30.26 allocation reduction for the Title I program per the state. Amendment number 2 is Subfund 201 Title II. This is an allocation adjustment and also a reallocation for supplies needed. It's an additional $1,511.97 in Title II funds that we'll be receiving. Amendment number 3 is Title V allocation adjustment. This is an additional $10,027.08 in funding from the state, from the federal government through the state. So that's appropriating that for instructional coaches and indirect costs. Amendment number 4 is Subfund 912. This is the special education preschool grant. It's a $189 additional allocation adjustment from the state. We'll put that toward educational assistance category in that one. And then the final one is Subfund 901. This is special education, the IDA, main IDEA Part B program, special education funding. It's an additional $12,741. We'll use the majority of this to cover instructional supplies and materials, special education equipment, and also benefits that we were originally not going to be able to cover through the federal program that we can pick up with this. So that is all of those 5 amendments, special school federal project fund amendments.
amendments.
Thank you, Mr. Markham. We can entertain a motion to approve all five, just, please do so contingent upon school board approval.
Motion contingent on school board approval.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion on these five amendments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Those are approved. Mr. Markham, do you care to give us a 26 budget update?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just so, there's really nothing in your packet for this, but just to kind of give you an idea of where we're at in the process, we've got a couple more departments that we're needing to get some information from, but the vast majority of the departments have submitted their documentation appropriately and got it to us on time. There's a few that we're trying to follow up on so we can get a better idea to you guys about what the asks are and what we're looking at there. I will tell you it's pretty consistent as far as pay requests, pay adjustment requests that are being asked in all the departments. I think that's probably no surprise. As far as odds and ends, you know, there's a few little things, but nothing that I've come across thus far that's just out in left field anywhere. I think what I'd like to ask that you do is that we set up a special call budget committee meeting in the next little bit, and then we can really dive into this, and I'll get that information out to you. And by that time, I should have those other departments lined up and getting that stuff in order. So,
Did the Google Docs sheet last year that we done have you had much feedback from the department heads? Did they like it, or didn't say much about it, or I thought it was pretty helpful.
I liked it.
I didn't get a lot of feedback from the department heads. I think some of them liked it, and some of them maybe signed into it once and didn't look at it again. But I don't think it was a bad thing at all. It at least gives us an opportunity to get that information out there. And if that's something that you guys like for me to set up again this year, I'd be happy to do that.
I thought it was pretty helpful.
I agree.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, we'll certainly do that.
Is it a lot more work for you, or?
No, it's not. Especially since we've got it created from last year.
He's not gonna admit to it. No. As far as timeline on you following up with those departments, if we're looking at like the 2 weeks from now, around the full court range, or the week after, does that give you, if we're looking at the week of the 17th or the week of the 24th?
Or do we, the ones that have submitted, do we start firing in and start looking at what we have, or do we need to wait till everybody gets in?
No, I think it's fine if you guys want to, if you're thinking about like going ahead and having somebody come, I think that might be a good opportunity to do that. Cause you're not necessarily giving them an answer at that point, you're just hearing their request. But as far as either one of those weeks, I would be fine myself, except for the 20th. That is a school board meeting night. Other than that, I should.
So we do have,
I didn't hear the date. He said other than the 20th for his school board is all I.
Yeah, that's all that. But
Let's
Kyle was
hear
asking
the-
about the 17th or 24th.
let's hear the committee, your opinions on the 17th after full court, or on the 24th, just for a standalone meeting. Does either of those work better than the other?
We do have 5 Fridays, or 5 Mondays,
I saw that.
so we're not gonna interfere with the Republican Party
Well, the
meeting.
24th is Republican meeting.
Oh,
Yeah, they meet at 6.
it is this would be,
If we do meet on the 24th, we probably want to do 5, just so we don't. Or
are we
the,
gonna be able to get done with anything in
or
an
the
hour?
18th and the 25th. You like both of those?
18th's not good for me.
25th work?
25th appears to be okay.
Does that work, Derek?
I think so, over you, TK.
Chad? TK, could you be here at 5:30? Does that work?
Yeah.
5:30 on the 25th?
Okay.
We are talking about March, right?
Yes.
Okay. I know it's still a question, but I want to be sure.
Yeah, and we can certainly have, we certainly will have all the information together and to you by, well, in advance of that, so. Is there anybody specifically, that you wanna go ahead and try to bring in then, or do you wanna look at it and?
How soon will you have like a Google?
Next week. We should have it next week. I mean, there's the normal ones that we typically, bring in are, Sheriff's Department and EMS, EMA, kind of those emergency services. But there are some,
Which department has the largest ask? That'd be the sheriff's department.
yeah.
Highway, doesn't highway normally come in?
Yeah, sometimes sometimes the highway department will come. I mean, if they're not really asking for anything out of the ordinary, it kind of depends, but.
Would you care to check with the sheriff's department?
Sure.
See if they could do the 25th, and then maybe we could pair them with a smaller, maybe the library, or we could hit one larger one and one smaller one.
Sure.
Is that okay with the committee?
Sounds good to me.
Is that okay, anyway?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes, I was
No.
looking at another, I was thinking I had another email, sorry.
Yeah. We'll try to hit those, and if we can't get those, we'll try to get somebody else lined up that I know that you guys will wanna talk to, if that's okay. Or that wants to talk to you. Sometimes they wanna talk to you, so.
Okay, thank you, Chad. One item that we know we have under old business is the water system at the jail. If you recall, at our February 3rd meeting, we discussed a change in the plans regarding the toilet replacements at the jail. This is primarily aborting the toilet replacement idea in lieu of a change out of the entire fixtures with the new water system. Chad emailed out a lot of the numbers, and I think Bobby was able to answer some of our questions through email. Do you have anything new, Chad, that this committee hasn't?
I don't, no. I mean, so the sales quotation, I sent one sales quotation, and it was the highest sales quotation. And it was for all of everything that would be needed, plus the installation by the company. Of course, this has to go through the bid process, and this is just kind of giving us some ideas, but, and that was at, almost it was just a little bit over $100,000. The actual installation part is almost half of that. So if we installed it ourselves, we would end up spending about what we were anticipating spending between the 2 fiscal years, just doing the change outs. But that would, of course, we were planning on installing those toilets ourselves anyways when we were changing out the toilets, so.
Didn't we allocate, oh, go ahead, James.
This quote, as a county entity, do we pay tax?
I had that question too.
No, and that would need to come off of there as well. This is just a quote that they got from the.
Yeah, like you said, it had to be officially bid out and all that stuff, this is just giving you an idea of what.
Yes.
And we had allocated
20, the plan was to allocate, we allocated 28 in this current year's budget, and we were planning on allocating an additional 28 next year and doing it in phases. But with this program, we would really need to purchase it all at one time, you know.
But they did not spend the 28,000 that'll be coming back to us.
That's correct, yes. That money's still there, so really, if we end up going this route and installing it ourselves, we'd just be asking for that 28 that we're planning on appropriating next year to be appropriated this year, so we can match it with what's already appropriated and make the purchase.
And this does need to be done this year before.
Elaborate on the, go ahead.
Well, the quicker, the faster, the better for them. I mean, I think they're dealing with some issues, and they'd like to go ahead and get it going.
So what's your, What is the request? Do we need to wait till we get the bid, or just permission to go ahead and bid it?
Yeah, the only reason that I actually even brought this forward was just because I knew that if we went through the bid process and we bid it, then there would be a budget amendment that had to come out, and I wanted to make sure that we were okay with taking the money that we were gonna appropriate next year and appropriating it this year and moving forward with it, instead of going through all that process and then running into a dead end, so.
I'm good with you, go ahead and bidding it. I don't have a problem funding it. Normally, I don't like self-installation. It kills the warranty, but when warranty is 50% of, or when labor is 50% of the cost, you can just about replace the whole thing again, Tom.
If you made a mistake.
Yeah, so, if you need a recommendation, my recommendation would be to bid it without installation.
Do they actually have the manpower to do that?
They said they do.
Yeah, they've emailed us a couple times and answered some questions and said he was capable of doing it.
Yeah, Bobby would be the one that did it, and he was out of town, but I think he feels comfortable tonight, so he couldn't be here, or he would have been, but he feels confident that he can, install it, so.
And he did reply to one of the emails saying the warranty wouldn't change, is that?
Yes, he did, yeah,
He said that, but
Yeah.
That's easy to say when you're selling it, and then we try to.
So if you look at this quote that Chad gave us, you take away the tax, and then, the install is nearly half of that, we're gonna be looking at, anywhere between 40 and 60,000. Are you guys comfortable with that's a ballpark range that comes back? Are we comfortable?
It has to go to RFP, is that right?
Yeah, we'll have to go through all that process. I just wanted you guys on board before we went through that.
So you don't need a motion?
No, I just kinda
So,
need a feel.
Executive Robin, I'm okay with the recommendation that the executive gave. That's okay with you.
I'm sure that'll be part of the, how the RFP is wrote up. It would be question if installation is done ourselves, if it would void the warranty, or what kind of warranty we would have, so that'll be answered.
Certainly, and we can even go as far as asking them to quote it both ways for us, quote it with installation, without, and we can quote it like that, so. But yeah, definitely, we would want something in writing from them stating that if we install it, the warranty's still valid.
Do we think we have multiple companies that are gonna possibly, that have this equipment that we're gonna bid it?
That's why we're wanting to go at it from an RFP standpoint, and as a request for proposals instead of an actual bid, because if we bid, this specific brand, this one company is the only one that can install that specific brand, but there are other companies that do this general type of system, and so that will allow us to get thoughts from people that do other similar type of systems that we can go with. And we'll score those based on, how it meets the needs, and if it's, the references and price obviously will be part of that, so.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you, Chad. New business, we do have 3 budget amendments that Chad put in our packets here, involving the Board of Education. The first, Fund 141, that would go to Commission, that's General Purpose School Fund. And then the other 2 stay right here within committee, and that's the School Federal Programs Fund. Do you care to give us a brief rundown on those 3, Mr. Martin?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The First Amendment will go to the County Commission and would need to be contingent on school board approval, but it's a $6,000 amendment to appropriate funds, estimated amount of funds to be received from a third-party biller for school-based nursing services rendered to students that are there eligible for teen care. And those funds have to be used to help offset the cost of the school-based nursing supplies, materials, and equipment. This is a new program that we're looking at that will help offset the cost of those school nursing supplies that we can run through the teen care program and seek reimbursement there for services that we render as school nurses. The next two amendments are both within committee. These are School Federal Projects Fund 142, Subfund 951, the Out-of-School Time Career Pathways Grant. This is to reallocate, it's really transferring funds to correct coding to align with the state's guidance on how certain items are coded. So we're transferring funds out of instructional supplies and materials, $5,701.55 to other charges, which is the 5990 599 category, excuse me. And then the second amendment is Carl Perkins. This is the CTE Perkins Basic Grant. This is to reallocate funds within that to purchase some items for our criminal justice project program and to help equip those students in that field.
Thank you, Mr. Markham. Let's start with the general purpose school fund. This budget amendment will need to go before the full commission, and I'd ask that you make this contingent upon school board approval. If you do, make a motion.
Motion to approve, motion to send to full court contingent on school board approval.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that amendment is approved. And then we have the two, Fund 142, that's the Federal School Programs Fund. This stays right here within committee, but please make contingent upon school board approval.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those two budget amendments are approved. We do have two items that came from committee, I believe. One from steering committee A, which was the
Trip grant.
sign it, well, two, I guess.
Yeah, we have the trip grant.
And the sign it. And then coming from steering committee B was the full-time position in the codes department. So let's start with steering committee A on the grant. You can just repeat what you did to.
Basically, this is a resolution that I wrote for White County to apply for the TRIP grant. Again, as I stated, committee, it is first year, it's a $25,000 with a $25,000 match, same for year two. Third year, it would be $50,000 strictly upon the county. So a $100,000 commitment for 3 years. The resolution, as I have it presented, says yes, that we're going to do that. If there's any, you're not good with that, we just gotta give them I've got the timeline right here somewhere. I didn't go over that part, didn't I?
So if we approve this and then, we don't get the grant, we just make it contingent on getting the grant, or?
Well, you can, the grant is, applications open March 17th, applications close, well, I can't talk today for some reason, applications close April 17th. They have planned to announce the winners by the end of May, and the target date to start contracts is July 1. So I wrote this in a way that we can decide whether to do it or not. I need at least permission to go ahead and apply. I think A pretty much did that anyway. But if we're going to commit to accepting the grant, if awarded, we can pass this, send this to full court for passage.
It does have to be approved by full court.
It has to be approved.
We meet on the 17th, and that gives plenty of time before the deadline in April.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to
Entertain
send
a
it
motion.
to full court with contingents of us getting the grant.
I mean, I'm on board for hiring somebody.
Full court regardless, as long as that states that.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any other discussion?
I mean, I'm on board for hiring somebody regardless if we get the grant or not. We've had several conversations, in meetings about needing a full-time P&R. So, I mean, I'm on board regardless if the grant's approved or not.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. We will be sending that to full court. We also had coming out of steering committee A, and I did not get to hear the final details on the signage. Do we need to, there was a guideline essentially is what we're trying to provide.
We put a $10,000 guideline on the fundage, a cap, a $10,000 cap on funding for the sign. So Denny Wayne has direction to go to Waste Management and say, this is the guidelines we're presenting. It's not.
This is not
It's not funded by the county. We're
So
asking.
we don't need a motion here. You've already got what you need.
I've got what I need. We don't need it, but if it comes back after I submit this request and if we come back and we decide that we want a $15,000 sign, then the county would have to appropriate $5,000 more, but as of right now, I don't need any action.
Okay. And then coming from steering committee B, there was a motion approved to send to us the full-time codes inspector back at, I'm assuming we would stay in that $28,000. The year's kind of ticking.
It'd be less
away.
now.
That's
Every
what I
month goes by, it's less.
That's what I was thinking, but I know you guys had conversation, it was litigated out pretty good in steering committee B. Is there, I think we could open the floor if you guys want to, if you make a motion to get this back to full court.
Third time's a charm.
We have a motion.
Second.
And a second. Now, any other discussion that we may not have had in?
I just think
Committee
we've
B?
had a failure, or the inability to have everybody at court here that's talked about it and understands and wants it to go forward. We've had obstacles to overcome, people with not being able to be here. Sickness last month for myself, we were 1 vote shy last month, and I think 2 votes shy the month before. And we've not had a full court, all 14 commissioners at the same time to
get a good feel.
I think the majority's in favor. We've just not had everybody here that can vote for it.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we will be sending that proposal back to full court. Any other new business? I thought you had something, Derek.
I do too.
I don't know, I was gonna ask about the commissioner under old business, the commissioner $600 pay, about bringing that back up, but you think we should wait and hash that out at budget time? We were close on it, just like we were this allocating the funds.
Would, the only, I can't say I'm making a recommendation, but if you do it before the budget year, you can get this year in. If you wait and do it, including the budget, I think, no, you could, we lose it, y'all would lose 1 year. This one does this year and last year. This one we can do next year and this year. I think you'd lose 1 year if you wait after budget.
Yeah. We can only allocate 1 year, right, at a time, so if we don't approve it in this budget cycle to allocate it for this year, then when we wait till budget time, then it's just going forward.
Yeah, it's just going forward.
But we're basically running out of the window. If somebody was trying to scramble to get their hours in, we'd run out of our windows narrowing for them to be able to do that, knowing that it's approved.
And then you're looking at if somebody is behind, don't they have to catch up all those hours before CTAS gives you credit for?
Yeah.
So even if they did, they could possibly do 15 or 20 hours next year and still not be.
They should know now
Yeah.
that they can start working on it.
Retroactively make them up.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to, I don't remember the resolution number, it's in the resolution for, the continuing education pay for the $600 commissioner.
Basically that same resolution that went through.
The same resolution that went through
I don't remember
previously.
either, but I've got it.
I have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved. We'll be sending it back to full court. Any other old business? All right, we'll turn to the audience. If there's anybody in attendance that would like to speak to the budget committee.
Takers.
Would like to make a comment. I talked to Chad when we first.
Here, come on up.
I talked to Chad when we first come in. The live stream is a good thing y'all are doing, but there's still an audio issue. Unfortunately, I couldn't make the last meeting, but I tried to listen to
These are,
the feedback.
these are brand new.
These are new. I
Yeah,
hope
So hopefully you got.
I think in the past, Chad, you correct me if I'm wrong, we were using brand-new video equipment with 35-year-old audio equipment, and they just weren't, they weren't collaborating well. This is the new system.
Yeah, we still got some kinks to work out too. We still got some other additional microphones to add.
So after tonight,
Some
we'll get more
microphones were
feedback.
going dead, like, just
I think it's a great
randomly
thing
going
that
dead.
you're
Yeah,
making it available for those who can't. be
I
here.
agree, and thank
But you can-
Chad's doing all the work, so.
Chad is working on it.
Appreciate
Yes.
it.
Yeah,
You can see him with his earbuds in on the backside over here to all the other meetings when he's not taking notes, having to track and keep up with it.
Listen to my music.
I guess I would like to add one thing to our technology just thought. I would like to see a way, some kind of form for voting, a voting device for us besides a voice vote.
I think you've did some research on that in the past, right? Did you ever go as far as getting prices?
Yeah, yes, I believe so. I had them, I assume I probably give them, but I think we was looking at that time of maybe revamping this room. I'm glad you brought that up when you asked. I don't know that we're gonna revamp this room. I feel like we should. We need have some kind of official meeting space. But I can get them to come demo that system.
Is it like an iPad or something that would or some kind of
Yeah, I
pad that we would each have to?
Or I can have them, I think I did a Zoom meeting with them once for the county commission, I think, didn't I?
Yeah, we did something.
We did something. I don't care to revisit that or have them come do
I would
demo session or.
absolutely like to.
Yeah, we need some kind of electronic, way to conduct meetings.
Yeah, I don't know that you need any approval from us to check on it, but if you do, I'll be happy to make a motion to do it, but, we're not spending any money.
Would that be committee?
Well,
I can
if
come
we're
back
spending
with-
money, we would be,
Yeah,
budget can do
Right,
it.
but just as far as for him to bring back some.
I can reach back out to them and get some updated figures, and, going along with this system we have here, it would also allow for resolutions to be solved. You could see them while also online.
While they're being voted on.
While they're being voted
they
on.
come up. I'd be happy to sit through a Zoom meeting for that.
Yeah. Anybody else from the audience? Okay, we did tonight, scheduled March 25th, 5:30. That'll be a special call, standalone budget committee meeting, and then we'll be back in this room on Monday, April 7th.
Before you ask for adjournment.
Yep.
Just a little clarification. I think, doing a Zoom meeting, do you want to me to schedule that for a committee meeting, or, I think we need more than just a budget committee here.
I would, yeah, I think we do.
You wanna do it in between, maybe in between A and B? In
So
that
both
way,
are here.
maybe everybody can.
Everybody,
It's
yeah,
probably not a bad idea.
we're in March, so it'll be April full court.
Uh,
I mean, April committee meeting.
Well, I have to check with their schedule, but I'll
Yeah.
ask for April.
Yeah,
I'll ask for April. The only thing about this, if we either need to decide, because after the last Zoom, I bet they called me every other day for a year and a half.
well, I mean, even if, if they can get something together, even if we do it here in full court, I mean, if everybody's gonna be here, I mean, I don't know how long it would take them to do a demo.
Okay.
Seems like I remember that right when I was running for election, I think I remember.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe time gets away. Yeah, I don't care if you don't have an objection to maybe scheduling it for right at the beginning of full court.
I mean,
Oh, that's right. I
Yeah.
forgot. I'm sorry. It's been a long day.
it has, I mean, whatever their availability is, if they can get it in this month, or if not, we need to wait till April, even steering committee in April, or even full court April, depending on their schedule, what they can accommodate. We're trying to get up with the technology. It's only taken 4 years to get our camera system up now, so. And we're thankful,
We
Chad.
got it incentive.
We're thankful, Chad, for that. I'm not making digs.
Oh, no.
You work on that, Mr. Executive. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion,
Motion.
second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.